Hello and welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. In today's video, we will be discussing about global nuclear order. Now, this global nuclear order has certain key components. What is the meaning of global nuclear order? By concept, it means that nuclear fuel as a use in energy versus in arms, its utilization in energy should be more, in arms it should be disarmed. Okay, so there are certain key components which together constitutes global nuclear order. Global nuclear order matlab every international organization should be aware, or those who are involved in this purpose should be aware of where all nuclear fuel is being used and for what purpose. Okay, plus its use should not be for wars or for development of arms and ammunitions. No, it should be used for nuclear energy only. So there are certain key components which together constitute the global nuclear order. Now, what are those components? That components definitely includes non-proliferation. So let's say a country already has created a nuclear armaments. Okay, so in that case, you should not be proliferating it, you should not be multiplying it, you should not be expanding your nuclear power in terms of ammunitions. Okay, secondly is disarmament. That means you already possess it, you try to get rid of that armament and try to utilize it for energy purposes. So you need to disarm yourself. That means if you are having a nuclear missile, you need to turn it and shift its usage towards nuclear energy. Third important component is nuclear material security. Nuclear material security matlab whatever nuclear fuel is existing, you will be utilizing it for energy and not for armament. So nuclear material ka safety and security. So first security is its use in energy, and second security is it should not be shifting in the hands of non-state actors. Non-state actors such as terror groups. So a country's responsibility, for example, India owns nuclear fuel. So it is my responsibility that this fuel should not be, for any reason, it should not enter into the hands of any terror group. So it should not enter into the hands of non-state actors. Plus, peaceful use of nuclear energy and international agreements and treaties. So, the key component of global nuclear order is also that we should be having an international agreements and treaties which should either disarm or non-proliferate the existing nuclear armaments. And there should be an international organization to keep a check on such conventions and treaties. Okay. Now, this has, what is the current status? What is the current status of global nuclear order? Now, currently, we know that there are only 9 armed states of the world. That includes US, UK, India, Pakistan, China, and Russia, France, North Korea, and Israel. So there are totally 9 armed states only, but immense amount of modernization and expansion is being carried out by these 3 countries, that is US, China and Russia. So as per the current status of weapons, modernization and expansion, although owned by nuclear arms are owned by all these 9 countries, but it is undergoing proliferation and expansion in these 3 areas, these 3 countries. Apart from this, we are also witnessing immense dominance of US and Russia. So 90% of the nuclear arm is being owned by US as well as Russia. And arms control concerns. So very recently, Russia has withdrawn from the New START Treaty. So START Treaty was signed between Russia and USA that they will not undertake proliferation. Okay. So New START Treaty, which was signed to reinforce the same principle. So New START Treaty say Russia has recently withdrawn. So arms control concerns are also a major concern in analyzing the current status of weapons. Okay. Now, what is India's position? We know that we are a non-signatory to Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, because we say that Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty has categorized the world into 2 halves. One is haves, the other one is have nots. All those who are owning the nuclear non-proliferation treaty, they can continue to own it, but they can't sell it to the have nots. Okay, that means this classification of the world will continue and it will become more stringent, and that's why we say that this is a very biased treaty, and that's why India is the non-signatory to NPT. Secondly, we are also an advocate for global disarmament. Global disarmament means if it has to be a principle of disarmament, it has to be carried out by all the countries. All these 9 countries should undertake disarmament. That is what is India's advocacy for. Thirdly, we have a little complex stance because our focus on nuclear energy has been very high of late. Okay, so we say that whatever nuclear fuel India is possessing, we are not undertaking proliferation of armaments, but we will definitely be focusing on the nuclear energy. Okay. Now, what are the conventions which are regulating the global nuclear order? The first few conventions include Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, which spoke about non-proliferation. Proliferation matlab multiplying. You will not be multiplying whatever arms you have currently. Plus disarmament. So whatever you have, you need to reduce it, remove it, and redirect it. Plus peaceful use. So wherever you have nuclear fuel, you should try to use it for energy and not for arms. So peaceful use of nuclear fuel was, these were the 3 principles of NPT, Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. Apart from this, comprehensive test ban treaty, that the test should not be carried out for a nuclear fuel missile, nuclear missile ke liye test should not be carried out for civilian purpose also, for military purposes also. This banning was proposed by the comprehensive test ban treaty, okay, CTBT. Plus we also have export control groupings. So export of nuclear fuel to non-NSG members should not be carried out. Plus missile technology control regime. So technologies related to missile development should not be given to a non-MTCR signatory country. Okay, India is having a membership of MTCR but not a membership of NSG. Plus, we also have a treaty on prohibition of nuclear weapons. This treaty was signed in 2017 by UNGA. United Nations General Assembly had signed this resolution by the name Treaty on Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons, and this came into effect since 2021. It says that we will be completely banning the use of nuclear missiles. Okay, plus we also have International Atomic Energy Agency's safeguard agreement. So what will IAEA personnel do? They will go to every country and check, acha, you had this much amount of nuclear fuel, what did you do with this? Okay, why did you redirect it to arms? You take it away from the missile sector and put it back to the energy sector. So IAEA personnel will go and check the stockpiling in every country, and where is the stockpile being used, that will also be monitored by IAEA. So these are some international conventions which are trying to regulate the global order. But there are some major issues in such regulation. Although there are so many countries who have been a signatory of NPT or CTBT, okay, or CTBT, or they have also promised that we will not be undertaking proliferation or not be shifting to a non-nuclear state. But still, US as well as UK as well as US have signed an AUKUS deal. And under this deal, both these countries are ready to supply nuclear material to Australia, and Australia being a non-nuclear state. So it is leading to some proliferation. Australia can redirect it for the development of missile. Instead of nuclear energy, they can undertake the missile development. Plus, arms control treaty facing challenges. I told you that countries are non-signatory. For India, countries like India, we are a non-signatory to NPT. Or initially we were a signatory of CTBT, but we withdrew from the membership of CTBT. Okay, so there are certain arms control treaty which are facing challenges. Okay, plus emerging non-state actors. Emerging non-state actors, and this is a very big problem for countries like Pakistan, because Pakistan is an owner of nuclear missile, okay, and it also funds so many non-state actors. So it can very easily transfer from the government to the non-government actors, okay, and in that case that will become very problematic. Plus the geopolitical tensions between US and Russia, between Russia and Ukraine, between Israel and Palestine, between Azerbaijan and Kazakhstan. So there are so many countries which are fighting against each other, between India and China, between India and Pakistan. So there are so many geopolitical tensions which in turn can lead to proliferation. Proliferation or mishandling of nuclear missile, or its usage when the things can be resolved via peace also. Okay, so these are some of the major issues with the global nuclear order. Now with that we come to the end of this topic. I wish you all the very best and thank you so much.